Hello and welcome to another afternoon of LMU Lions men's soccer here on the WCC Network. Alongside Stephen Nassif, I'm Rayhan Ball, bringing you today's game between the Lions of LMU and the Hornets of Sacramento State. Sac State enters this game with a 3-1 record, coming off an interesting weekend of their own, which saw them win a shutout game 2-0 over the 25th ranked team in the country, Air Force, and then coming off that game losing 5-2 to Cal State Bakersfield. The Lions, in a form of their own, enter this game with a 2-1 record, coming off back-to-back wins against Oral Roberts and Loyola Chicago. Both of those games were shutouts.
And now, let's meet the starting lineup.
Now the Lions are as always, led by Paul Crumpy. Crumpy is entering his 22nd season as the head coach of the Lions. He's been very successful in his tenure. And on the flip side, Mitchell Lenberger will lead the Hornets into this one. Lenberger, the Duke alum, was actually a captain on Duke's national championship team in 1986. So plenty of leadership there. Steven, the Hornets, a sneaky good team, but the Lions coming off a couple wins. If they want to keep the momentum going, what do they need to do tonight?
Well, the Lions have had some success, just like Sac State, beginning this season, and they've done it with aggression from the offense. They have very high rankings in the NCAA in shot attempts, and that kind of helped them have a competitive game against number 16 Virginia Tech and have some quality wins against Oral Roberts. Lions goalkeeping has also come through very solidly, as the last two games they have recorded shutouts. And you know, we always talk about how it's important early in the season to kind of set a tone going into conference play. I think both teams so far have a little bit of momentum right now, and it should be a good game. Both teams have been looking strong, and whoever gets this win should feel pretty good going in later in the season.
Yeah, these are two teams that are coming off pretty successful weekends. You mentioned the Lions undefeated, not even allowing a goal in their past two contests. Sac State, on the other hand, did come off a 5-2 loss, but a 2-0 win over a top 25 team is nothing to sneeze at. The Lions will try and defend home field here in Sullivan Field, in which they've been fairly successful this year. Steven, you talked about taking the number 16 team in the country down to the wire, Virginia Tech. The Lions trying to keep that going right now at Sullivan Field. They have back-to-back games against Sac State and UC Davis on Sunday before they head down to Riverside to take on UC Riverside. But for now, we will pause for the national anthem, and then we will be set for kickoff. Welcome back, everybody. As we said, alongside Stephen Nassif, I'm Rayhan Ball, bringing you today's game between the Lions of LMU and the Hornets of Sac State. Two very experienced coaches in this one. We touched upon Paul Crumpy entering his 22nd season at the helm for the Lions and for the Hornets. National champion Mitchell Lenberger enters his 31st season. Just about set to kick off this one. Stephen, what does the starting lineup look like for Sac State?
So starting at number 2 is Antonio Andres. Number 13 is Matt Carnifex. Number 11 is RJ Morehouse. Number 1 at goalkeeper is Ryan Curtis. Number 4 is Luis Urias. Number 9 is Benji Kikanovich. Number 15 is Araf Chavez. Number 17 is Alejandro Alcantara. Number 10 is Oscar Govea. 18, Francisco Magana. And number 21, Renato Alfaro.
And for the Lions in goal, it'll be number 98, Jacob Jackson, coming off a couple good games of his own. He'll be protected by what looks like a back three on paper for the Lions of Nick Deschaux, Gerardo Lopez, and Christian Wood. We'll see if that holds up. Now we'll have a midfield five for LMU of Leo Zuli, Alex Liu, CJ Neville, Noel Caliscan, and Narisco Cervantes. And they'll be supplying the striker duo tonight for the Lions, which is currently listed as Jack Sauls, who will be the main man up top for LMU. See how the Lions hold up today. Good starting lineup for them. LMU wearing their red and gray jerseys with the red socks.
I like the red and gray.
Yeah, it's a new look for LMU, as we mentioned, making the switch from Nike over to Adidas. Really revamped the entire school, and the branding in and of itself of LMU has changed over the past year, taking a turn towards the lighter blue from the more familiar navy of our tenure here, rather, at LMU. Stephen entering our senior year now. Sac State, on the other hand, going for the always classic all-white look, white shirt, white shorts, rather, and white socks with the green numbers.
Can't go wrong with all white.
Yeah, all-white classic look, especially on the road. You don't see teams get too creative with their away jerseys more often than not. LMU, as we mentioned, the red and gray jerseys, gray pants, and red socks. Just about set to kick this one off.
You know, the kind of lighter blue is more reminiscent of the Hank Gathers era. And I feel like there's a little more brand recognition from that era at LMU. So I like the switch to that lighter blue color.
Yeah, the light blue, a new look for LMU, and Hank Gathers really representative of a time when LMU athletics was really at its peak, really currently working to get back towards a situation like that. Men's basketball team, you know, led by Coach Mike Dunlap, really turning things around, going in the right direction. This one will kick things off as the show will take it for the Lions. He'll send this one long towards Sauls. Sauls will hit it towards the box. The Lions will try and stand over this one. It'll bounce around. Nice step up there from Christian Wood will win it back for LMU.
Look for the Lions to really attack and try and get off as many shot attempts as they are able. Of course, the more shot attempts you have, the more opportunities you have to score.
And Lou charging there for the Lions has brought down. The official calls a foul there, but it looks like it'll be against Lou for sliding in there. So far for the Lions, it does look like they're holding true to the back three, which was listed on paper here of Wood, Lopez, and Deschaux. Now Sac State will take the free kick, just settling into this one. It'll be the goalkeeper, Ryan Curtis, sending it out wide. Nice effort there from LMU. Will cause it to bounce around. Looking inside there are the Lions for Gaetan Rowe. Now in the midfield to Govea. Now early on in this game, both teams really just feeling each other out. No direct balls being played too long. Right on cue, they'll send it towards the head of Kikovanovich, but Lions will hold on to it, and now they'll move the other way.
Like we say a lot of times in the beginning of any sporting event, it could be like the first round of a fight. You know, both fighters trying to feel each other out.
That's a nice little link-up play there from the Lions. Will end up with Sauls looking out wide there, takes a deflection. Now for the Hornets, Morehouse taking it the other way. That ball will be flipped to Magna. He'll head that one towards the middle of the field, and Lopez is all over it for the Lions. Caliscan knocks it back to Woods. Wood will clear that one off the Sac State attacker. Lions will take the throw in. Right around midfield, it'll be Wood.
Look for that gorgeous sunset coming in the next 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, the weather always a big plus.
Yeah, always, me and Rehan always like pointing it out, but I think it's important to really appreciate where you are.
Wood will send it down the sideline to Rowe. He'll check back inside Caliscan. Now charging down the left-hand side. Caliscan, one of the Lion players wearing the armband today, alongside Nick Deschaux.
Deschaux, obviously one of the strongest players on this Lions lineup. Any scorer usually goes through him.
This one will bounce around and go out of bounds once again. Lions will keep it, slowly advancing up the sideline. Nick Deshaw, as you mentioned, Stephen, has been a mainstay in the Lions lineup in that back four. 6'5", 210-pound senior out of Nashville, Tennessee. Played in 13 games, 10 starts as a junior. He tallied just about 996 minutes. Now it's Lou charging forward for the Lions, trying to play one in behind. Sac State.
Good interception there by Sac State.
Yeah, Sac State is able to come away with this one. This one is played down the sideline. Looked like he was offsides. The referee does agree. That'll send it back to the Lions as the Hornets trying to get something going on the counterattack. Interesting thing to point out for Sac State, not members of the WCC, but 6 of their 11 non-conference matchups this season are against members of the West Coast Conference, including both of their opponents this weekend, starting things off against LMU, and then they'll head down to face San Diego. So far, the Hornets are 1-0 against WCC opponents as they netted a 2-1 win on the road at Gonzaga in the opening weekend of the season. This one will bounce around to Deshaw. Deshaw now looking down the right-hand side. Good ball there from Deshaw, finds Lou. Lou battling for that one, will win a throw-in for the Lions in a dangerous position.
LMU looking like they have a little more possession so far in the game, obviously very early, but something to look for, and hopefully the Lions can keep it up.
That physicality down that right-hand side as Cervantes moves up for the Lions. Cervantes now on the ball, plays it inside, trying to lay it off for Sauls. It will result in, I believe, a corner kick for the Lions, which will be their first one of the game. Lions trying to jump ahead early. And Stephen, a goal this early, invaluable for LMU, a team that is coming off back-to-back shutouts. Have to be very confident in the way the defense and the goalkeeper are playing up until now. A goal early, huge confidence boost for them as this one is played towards the edge of the box. Now flipped towards the back post. Keeper punches it away, not convincingly. Still in a dangerous area for LMU. Bouncing around the box, still low. This one will take a deflection off the Lion player, and it'll go well wide for a goal kick.
Yeah, when you have a goalkeeper that's been playing as well as the Lions' Jacob Jackson, an early goal really, really helps give you some confidence going into the rest of the game and just a good little comfort zone.
And going off that for the Lions, Jackson in between the sticks for them today is one of 11 goalies, tied for both first in the country in goals against average and save percentage. So right up there with the best of them so far for Jacob Jackson. Once again, Deshaw working through the back. Lou reset back to Deshaw. Plenty of space for him. Sac State not pressing early.
Looks like they're backing off and letting the Lions pass it around a little bit more. But you got to be careful because you don't want to. We saw this in the girls' soccer game earlier this week. You don't want to let one team dominate time of possession because you're backing off on defense.
And it was a nice counterattacking opportunity there for the Lions, just unable to get on the end of the final ball, but good pressure wins it right back for them. Deshaw now once again distributing. Seen a big effort from the Lions to do that once they win the ball, really reset things through Deshaw. Nice little 1-2 there. Will send a cross into the near post. Sauls leaves it. Another dangerous chance there. Sac State really on their back foot to start things off, just 7 minutes into this one.
Yeah, tricky there by Sauls, by like the attempt.
And we've seen a lot out of LMU, especially Cervantes so far at that right back position, having the freedom to go forward, really trusting the center backs there. As we see Cervantes stepping up and winning this ball for the Lions. Once again, Deshaw will reset.
Cervantes definitely important piece for the Lions midfield.
Now it's Lopez. No pressure so far from Sac State. Letting LMU sit on the ball for a bit here. Cervantes will advance it before getting it right back. Slowly working it around are the Lions. Very comfortable on the ball so far. Deshaw picking out a long ball there nicely. Trying to lay it off there for the Lions is CJ Neville. Now Sac State once again trying to go the other way. Deshaw easily handling that for LMU. Now Caliscan winning in a dangerous area. Rowe coming forward for the Lions. He'll lay it off to Neville. Neville, nice little 1-2 with Rowe. trying to beat him down that left-hand side.
Good slide tackle
Good
there
physicality
from
there
Alfaro.
from Rowe. Looks like the ball went out of bounds. Referee does agree. Lions will keep the ball here once again. It looks like it'll be another corner kick for them, their second of the contest. A lot of good aerial targets here. The one that stands out the most is the senior Deshow, standing at 6'5". Lions will play this one towards the back post. Headed towards goal and saved. But Nick Deshow.
Confident save there by Ryan Curtis.
And Deshow, as we touched on, one of the better aerial threats for the Lions, is able to get on the end of that one, but right into the hands of Curtis. Now Sac State just trying to get a feel for the ball as the Lions have been coming forward for the past 5 or so minutes.
Yeah, important for Sac State to gather themselves and have a strong possession, make themselves feel more a part of this game.
Now we'll see who really steps up for the Lions in this starting lineup. Offensively for them so far this season, as this great play by Rowe to win the ball back in a dangerous area. Has Neville running alongside Saul. Saul's coming around. It will fall for Neville. Just unable to get the contact he wanted. Has a chance to lay it off to Rowe. Great step up by Wood there.
That's why you got to love the press on defense, because you can create opportunities like that where you really catch the opponent sleeping.
That's a really good job by Rowe to win it in a dangerous area. Just unable to get the link-up play they needed, but a good step up from Wood. Keeps Sac State in a dangerous position, throwing in from right around their own box. This one will bounce around in the midfield. Now Sac State trying to get things going the other way. It's a nice ball played through there for the Hornets, settling in on it. Now turning inside comes Sac State. Working all the way to the other side of the field is Kikovanovich. He's driving inside the box, fires a shot, easily saved there by Jacob Jackson.
Kikovanovich just going east-west till he really was able to create a shot. Not the best shot he was able to get off, but nevertheless, Jacob Jackson with a nice save.
Yeah, and it's Sac State's first real chance inside the box. Bit of a one-man show there. Now the Lions will reset. Jackson on the ball. He'll choose to just lay it off to Lopez. Lopez has support. He'll choose to reverse the field towards Cervantes. Chests it down nicely. And Deshow once again for LMU. Back to Jackson. See if Sac State chooses to pressure here.
Looks like they're playing off a little bit.
It's a great job there by Deshow to pick out Rowe in the midfield. Throw is brought down, no foul called. The Lions trying to go the other way. Alex Liu, nice move there, cutting inside, brought down, foul called. The Lions will have a free kick, I believe, just on the edge of the box, but it's a very dangerous area here for LMU.
Really
nice
keep
chance
an
to
eye.
set something up.
Really keep an eye out on the Alcantara-Liu matchup there. Obviously, the big size discrepancy, but Liu has the speed advantage for the Lions. So, you know, any air ball, of course, Alcantara should get, but he has to be careful that Liu doesn't dribble downfield and create a good crossing opportunity.
Looks like it'll be Rowe standing on top of this one for the Lions. Defense is forward. Sauls, Deshow, Lopez, Wood, all in the box. He'll flip this one in towards the back post, looking for it, and it'll go over the bar. Out for a goal kick for Sac State. But as you mentioned, Stephen, Liu definitely a handful when he's running at you one-on-one. We'll see if the Lions are able to spring him into space more often throughout this game.
Classic speed against strength matchup.
That one will fall out for Alfaro. So again, both teams really feeling it out, going back to the keeper very frequently early on in this game. We're just 12 minutes in.
There's that gorgeous sunset we were talking about earlier. Just so you know, I wasn't lying.
Nice step up there from Lopez, bouncing around the midfield. So far, Rowe really playing both ways for the Lions despite being in an attacking position. They'll lay this one in. Govea has a bit of space, has a player running down the side. Nice ball to pick him out here. Sac State with a bit of space.
Looks like Christian Wood fell asleep at the wheel there.
And a good recovery from Wood. Will stop the attack momentarily, but it will give Sac State their first corner of the game. See if they can set something up here.
So far it's been Mostly the Lions here with the opportunities. Good one for Sac State.
This one hit towards the back post and hard. It'll be headed away by Deschaux, but it still falls into space. Once again, cleared away by the Lions, with Sac State trying to stay on it. Going down the left-hand side are the Hornets, maintaining possession. Now whipping it back into the box, headed away by Lopez, but the ball still stays in a dangerous area. It'll continue to bounce around. Sac State will come at the end of this contact, but no foul called. And it's a great job there by Wood to just watch it go out of bounds, and the ball will go back to LMU. Stephen, for Sac State, they're the first real chance to control the ball around LMU's box.
Yeah, they should definitely be looking to just maintain control of the ball as much as possible, because as you can see there, they were threatening, and anytime the ball is just kind of bouncing around that danger zone, you never know what can really happen.
And it's a good step up there by Morehouse on a row to win the ball back for the Hornets, but they give it away just about as quickly as they got it.
I like the idea by Gouveia with the one-touch pass, just a little bit of a miscommunication on the execution.
Once again, Wood will throw for LMU. Into Caliscan, back to Wood. Nice little move there to get out of a tight spot. We'll win another throw in for the Lions, slowly moving it up. It's left-hand side. Left-hand side for LMU is occupied right now by Christian Wood. We talked about CJ Neville stands ahead of him on the wing. And Gaetan Rowe has been checking inside to help them out throughout the game. Drums now in full effect as a supporter section of the Lions.
Yeah, fun to have some percussion with our games.
Yeah, really helping the atmosphere here at Sullivan Field, in which the Lions usually play well. Looks like a handball. The referee saw the same thing. We'll send it back to LMU. Caliscan thinks about playing it quick, but he ultimately will. It'll go backwards to Lopez. Now Deschaux charging forward for LMU, stepping up into space and playing a long ball. Nice switch there to CJ Neville, just off sides there.
Good vision from Deschaux, though.
That's a good idea from Deschaux. Neville just not on the same page there, but that's something that should be available for the Lions going forward in the game. Deschaux does a good job of hitting that long switch.
And you'll see the better players are able to see those types of passes on all levels for soccer.
And Jackson there almost had a tough decision to make, but a bit too much on the pass there will fall easily into his hands, and it'll once again go back to Deschaux for LMU.
And obviously we have the advantage sitting in the broadcast booth, being able to see the whole field, but when you're looking from your point of view, it's much harder to see as a player.
And once again, Rowe, great job stepping up there. We'll send the Lions the other way. Rowe charging towards the edge of the box. He'll check this one back to Neville. Neville will play it into the box, but no supporting runs there, easily into the hands of Curtis. Curtis will float this one over the head of CJ Neville. Neville does a good job tracking back and will win it for the Lions. This one played towards Sauls. It'll force a clearance by Sac State.
Antonio Andres with a heads-up play there.
We've seen the Lions focusing on this left-hand side. Been pushing forward so far. Now Wood with a bit of freedom going forward here. He'll take the throw in for LMU. Has Neville and Rowe alongside him, opts for Rowe. This one will go away, but Sac State trying to get something going. Now counter-attacking opportunity here for the Hornets. Charging forward is Chavez. Chavez cuts back inside. He'll lay it off for Gouveia. Gouveia really been the heart of the team so far when they have the ball. Nice step up there for LMU. Will relieve a bit of the pressure, but Sac State continues to keep possession. This one now floated towards the edge of the box. Lopez will watch it go over his head and easily into the hands of Jackson. Once again, Deschaux will lay it off for Cervantes.
First 10 minutes seem to be more LMU. These last almost 8 minutes now seems to have been more Sac State's, to Sac State's advantage.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which version of Sac State we see in this game. We talked about them getting a shutout win against the top 25 team, and coming right off that, falling 5-2. So a team that has shown some highs and some lows so far in a very young season. Now going at Christian Wood are the Hornets. Govea once again controlling the ball for them. In a dangerous area, Sac State does have the ball here as Managa will check it back into Govea. Looking to slice through the defense there, but Lopez does a good job stepping up. And as you mentioned, Steven, now the Hornets have come to life a bit here, just about 18 minutes into this one.
Yeah, they're definitely the ones threatening now, and you can see the ball much more on LMU's side of the field much more often.
Nice little link-up play for them now. Has plenty of space towards the edge of the box. Charging, flipping across well over the heads of everyone. It'll be likely a goal kick. That one stays right of the flag.
Was a good opportunity there for the Hornets.
Unfortunately for Sac State, that one did not go over the goal line, so now they have a chance to pressure LMU, who have a throw-in from very deep within their own area. Trying to work out of this area are the Lions, and they will ultimately win what I believe was a goal kick, but it looks like it took a deflection off a Lion player. Tough to see from where we're at, but it will be the second corner of the game for the Hornets. Just approaching the 20-minute mark here. Sac State will stand over their second corner kick. Plenty of players in the box. This one is whipped, rather floated towards the back post. Trying to get on to end of that one for Sac State is Andres, but not able to center it. It'll be a goal kick for LMU.
Definite show of frustration there from Andres. He knew he could have done a little bit more with that play.
And it looks like that's what Sac State was going for, trying to find a man at the back post who heads it back into a dangerous area. Just unable to get the contact he was looking for as Andres. We're just about 20 minutes in here. Quick stat run down. The Lions lead the shots category 5-2. Shots on goal 2-0. 2 saves out of Curtis so far for Sac State. No saves out of Jackson for LMU, but he's been forced to make a couple tricky decisions. A long ball floated towards Lou with a bit too much on it. We'll send it back to the Hornets. Fouls are one apiece, 2 corner kicks for each side. And Sac State has been caught offsides once, and LMU, I believe, has also been caught offsides once. Nice little back heel attempt there will not find its way past Cervantes as the Lions will keep possession.
Again, I like the idea, but Cervantes just a little too aware for that Hornets attempt to work.
Wood up to Neville, finds Rowe. Back to Wood. Lions doing a good job controlling possession here.
No press from Sac State.
Yeah, I'd assume that would be something that changes in the second half, just trying to get their legs under them early in this one. Not a very long road trip for the Hornets, but still outside of familiar territory nevertheless, as Wood's now charging forward for LMU, checking it into Neville. Now out to Rowe, who's been really free-flowing so far in this game, really moving around.
You'll see a lot less press earlier in the games, in the early game going, in soccer, just because more exhausting to start out in the first 20 minutes really going on the attack. Like you said, getting your feet underneath you and kind of figuring out what you're going up against first, and then pressing is something you'll see a lot more often.
Yeah, and in the link-up play, there was a nice ball from Rowe, chipping it over the back line of Sac State. Just not on the same page with Neville there, but something to watch out for going forward. We talked about Rowe really in a center attacking role here for the Lions. Had a bit of freedom to move around, not really stuck to his position so far. But he has been impactful, again, going both ways, providing good press for them and really linking up. Looks like a couple substitutions are set to come in for the Lions. Now controlling the ball here is Carnifex. Sac State is settled into the game now. As you mentioned, Stephen, the first 10 minutes were all LMU. But now Sac State has found a bit of opportunity to go forward. Caliscan now for the Lions will lay it off for Rowe. Rowe looking for Neville. Heavy touch will send it back to Sac State, but not out of danger quite yet. This one will be checked into Govea. And he'll bring it forward. Fire a shot towards the box. It'll fall into an open area. No problem there as Jacob Jackson will pick it up nicely for the Lions.
Sac State has been attacking a lot more in these last 12 or so minutes, but they haven't been really threatening quite yet. They aren't able to get to that point to give themselves the opportunity to finish.
And Rowe picks out Lou now in behind for the Lions. Heavy touch there for Lou. Will send it back to the goalkeeper. There's a bit of a defensive error and a nice ball nevertheless from Rowe that picked out Lou in behind. Lou just heavy touch there, sent it back.
Got to be frustrating there for Lou.
Now Deschaux trying to get on the end of this. Sac State, great opportunity here in the box. Will lay it off for Govea. Great job by Deschaux to keep the danger limited for now. Sac State still dangerous. Great dribbling at the edge of the box. Brilliant sliding tackle from Cervantes. Eliminates the danger temporarily for the Lions as Lopez will clear that one off the defender and back to LMU. So that ball in behind Steven to Kikovanovich really represents the best chance of the game so far for Sac State. Fortunately enough, the back two of Nick Deschaux and Gerardo Lopez were all for it.
Yeah, Nick Deschaux did get beat on that back side, but Cervantes, his teammate, really came through for Deschaux. And of course, the Lions are still not completely out of it yet, but very dangerous potential situation averted by a good slide tackle.
Couple substitutions for the Lions. It'll be Rodrigo San Román and Brandon Sanchez entering the game. And coming off for the Lions will be Leo Zuli and Gaetan Rowe. For LMU, looks like it won't change the shape of the team too much. They're trying to come forward here. It'll bounce around. LMU does get on the end of this one. Once again, a nice step up by the Lions. Will keep possession in a dangerous area. Trying to work down that right-hand side.
Got to be frustrating for Lou last time he was on that right-hand side with that heavy touch. Had a good opportunity, but it's all about having the confidence to not let that shake you and realize you have a much longer amount of time left in this game to redeem yourself.
Another heavy touch will lead to a Nick Deschaux clearance, but Sac State still on this one as they float it towards the back post, laid off towards the edge of the box. Not a dangerous shot, saved well by the goalkeeper for the Lions. Jacob Jackson called upon in the 25th minute rather, and a diving save will keep this one tied 0-0, but it will result in the third corner kick of the game for Sac State.
Clearly the best opportunity Sac State's had all game, but Jacob Jackson wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, and really indicative of the form that Jackson's been in. We talked about one of 11 goalies tied for first in the country in goals against average and save percentage. This one is floated towards the near post, flicked into a dangerous area. Unable to get the contact he wants on it is Kikanovic, and Jackson will rack up another save there. It's a huge save there out of Jackson, especially momentum-wise for LMU, the team that, as you mentioned, jumped out to the better start, but Sac State really got their feet under them now, had a chance to go up 1-0. Great job there by Jackson, keeping LMU tied in this one. Looks like a substitute is ready to come on for the Hornets. Exiting the game will be the number 9, Benji Kikanovic, who has been the most impactful player for Sac State so far, really attacking with him and Govea, who slots in right under him in their formation. That's really been what's given LMU trouble, if any trouble so far. Kikanovic has 3 shots. 2 of those found the target.
Going back to Jacob Jackson, it's just so important to have somebody you can really depend on in the net. Obviously, mistakes are going to happen on the defensive side, and just to have that level of safety with a good goalie is so huge in all great teams.
But Jackson is solid for the Lions.
14, Titus Washington. For number 18, Francisco Mangonia.
Substitution made here for Sac State. As you mentioned, it looks like it's Kikanovic who had the shot on goal. He appears to be getting a breather now, not on the field. Jackson will work it around to Lopez. Now Wood. We're seeing Cal Scan for the Lions really settling into center defensive role, supporting that back four. This one is flicked long towards Sauls, trying to get on the end of this. Forcing a tough clearance by Sac State. Nice step up, but Sac State will end up with the ball now, charging forward, going the other way. Great tackle there from Caliscan. Referee, on the other hand, saw it as a bit too much contact. Stoppage of play here. We'll get to the official ruling.
Might be a little shaken up after that header.
Looks like we have an injury. Looks like number 15 for the Hornets, Arath Chavez. Had a quick talk with the trainer. Referee sorting things out here. Looks like the ball will be given back to LMU. Flip back to Lopez. Lays it off for Wood. San Ramon calling for it. Looking forward, Neville just behind him.
Not the best pass there from Neville.
And almost a great opportunity there for Sac State as Tyus Washington takes out Gerardo Lopez for the Lions. Referee, however, calls it a foul. Caliscan plays it quick to Deschaux. Deschaux now has had the freedom to pick out some passes so far in this game. We'll see if the press steps up with the fresh legs of Washington, now leading the charge for Sac State. Wood will reverse this one back to Deschaux once again in space. Gouveia tries to press him. Easily lays it off for Cervantes. Looks like he's picked out a line. It'll be Sauls towards the edge of the box with space. Hits this one towards the back post. Too much on it. We'll send it out for a goal kick, but plenty of substitutions coming in here for both teams.
Neville was there, just couldn't really connect on the pass. Like the idea, though.
Two subs for the Lions, one for Sac State. It'll be Duhaney Williams entering the game for Alex Liu. And number 9, Francis Avoce will now get his first action of the game. He'll come in for Jack Sauls. Interestingly enough, for the Lions so far, it's the duo of Avoce and Oberle that have really led the team offensively. Oberle yet to enter the game, but Avoce now, target man striker, will step in with some fresh legs. We'll see what he can do. Avoce so far in this game is 65th in the country at 3 shots per game. We'll see if he can test the goalkeeper, Curtis, for Sac State, coming in 30 minutes into this one.
Both teams look a little fatigued right now, so obviously the substitution's very important. Get some fresh legs in there, see what they can do.
Wood now charging forward for LMU. Avoce trying to get on the end of this one, and he does. Avoce working around that corner, wins a throw-in for LMU.
Good one-on-one there between Avoce and Alfaro.
Cal's going to lay it off for Wood, bit too much on it. Wood knocked down. No foul called by the referee. Crowd not agreeing with that one. Looked a bit much, but it'll end up with a throw-in, I believe, for Sac State. Another substitution for the Hornets. It'll be number 18, Francesco Magana, exiting the game for number 14, Tyus Washington, who's off for a very short moment of time. This one will bounce around, go outside. Another throw-in for Sac State as we reach the 30-minute mark here at Sullivan Field. Washington now tries to lay it off. Good step up there from the Lions. It was Brandon Sanchez. Reset, goalkeeper, tough one there. Has had a player charging at him, able to sky a clearance towards Avoce.
Emiliano Cardona with an aggressive attack there.
Avoce now in a dangerous area for LMU. Unable to get a shot off, but the pressure stays. Avoce, too much physicality there for the officials' liking. Will result in a free kick for Sac State, but Francis Avoce coming on aggressive early. Goalkeeper here, Curtis, taking his time. He has Alfaro and plenty of space on the right-hand side, and he does pick him out as Wood. Nice job recovering there for LMU. But Sac State looks like they'll win the second ball. Caliscan will foul Sac State player Carnifex there, who went down. It'll be a free kick for the Hornets.
Been a pretty even game so far, I'd say. Obviously, Sac State with the best opportunity. But other than that, both teams seem pretty even in time of possession and real just opportunities created.
Now Govea once again on the ball for the Hornets. Be interesting to see if he gets a rest, how the build-up play looks like for them, as he's really been crucial. That's a brilliant ball down the right-hand side, just a bit too much on it. This one will move around. So the Lions men's basketball team here showing support for their soccer counterparts. This one will bounce around from Wood to Caliscan, now into San Ramon. Sac State wins it back as they're now charging forward, playing it into a dangerous area here. Fires a shot just over the bar, as it was over the outstretched hand of Jackson, but over the bar as well, and it'll result in a goal kick for LMU.
Ball got through Gerardo Lopez there, but just couldn't get a good enough kick down to really threaten anything.
It ultimately forced a tough angle shot for Sac State. Looked like Jackson would have been there had it been on target, but you can never be sure. Lions will definitely take that one going over. Cervantes will draw a foul. It'll be a throw-in for Deschaux, or a free kick rather. Deschaux will play this one quick down the right-hand side to Williams. Bit too far to the right there. Will go out of bounds. Throw-in for Sac State. His team's going back and forth here, but just unable to really get a clean build-up. Nice step in there from Avoce. Will momentarily disrupt things as a player is called for a foul. It appears to be somewhat of a stiff arm there against Govea. Lions will take it back right around midfield.
Stiff arms, of course, encouraged in American football, but not regular football.
Yeah, physical game so far, but nothing really out of hand as Caliscan will get this one on the check inside. Nice little 1-2 there as he'll send it out wide to Neville. Heavy touch there from Neville. Will send it back to Sac State Washington, trying to hold on to it. Great sliding tackle there from San Ramon. Neville now will lay it out wide to Sanchez. Sanchez tries to play it towards the back post, looking for Avoce, but it appears that he was offsides. The sideline official has his flag up.
You know, number 21 for Sac State, Gennaro Alfaro, has done a good job holding down that left side. A lot of attack from the Lions, but so far, nothing really has broken through.
Once again, San Ramon stepping up for LMU. His press has been big. Rodrigo San Ramon coming in. He's played just about 10 minutes so far, but he's been very impactful, making use of the rest he was given to start this one off. So it looks like he's won the Lions another corner kick. Substitution set to come in for LMU. It'll be Danny Garcia entering the game for LMU in exchange for CJ Neville.
15, Arath Chavez.
Arath Chavez will exit the game for Sac State now.
Listen to how even this game has been. Both teams with 5 shots, both teams with 2 shots on goal, both teams with 2 saves. Lions with 4 fouls, Sac State with 3, and both teams with 3 corners and 1 offside.
This one now hit towards the back post, onto the head of Deschaux, unable to get it, but the ball stays in a dangerous area for LMU. Eventually, Sac State will clear it. Caliscan, great job stepping up there, winning the ball. Now Rodrigo San Ramon going down that left-hand side. Deflection will go out of bounds. This one now in behind here. Sacramento State dangerous coming down the right-hand side. This ball crossed back in towards the back post. Nobody there, but it will eventually go long. And the substitute, Jet Trask, will settle in under this one. Now across, takes the deflection, and will end up with the Lions now heading forward the other way. San Ramon just not on the same page there with Sanchez. Sac State opening things up. Back and forth game here, just about 10 minutes left in the first half. This one sliced towards Govea. Nice step up there by Lopez. Avoce settles under this one for LMU. Nice sliding tackle.
It's back and forth between 2 very evenly matched teams.
And once again, it's Alfaro making a run down that right-hand side. Plenty of space here. We'll see if they're able to pick him out. San Ramon keeping an eye on him behind. Nice turn there from Govea as he tries to play it through. Easily saved there from Jackson. Looks like it was a pass, not really a shot attempt there.
It's back and forth now for a little bit. No team really threatening for the last 10 minutes or so.
And Wood on the ball once again towards Lopez. This back line of the Lions has been very comfortable on the ball so far.
A little more press from Sac State also.
Nice ball there to pick out Sanchez. Nice turn inside. He'll flip this one out wide to Williams. Not the touch he wanted, but he's able to get across towards the back post. Headed away, not convincingly. Lions will stay on it. Trying to lay it off for Wood, just not on the same page there. Brandon Sanchez leading the charge for LMU. Deschaux picks it out.
Some showmanship there from Sanchez.
This one headed towards Avoce. Just unable to get on the end of it are the Lions. Into the hands of Curtis. Things really opening up here. Just about 8 minutes left in the half. Lions with a couple fresh legs in their attacking front threes help them press and win the ball in dangerous areas. We'll see if they're able to tuck away a chance for the break. That one played right to Danny Garcia by a Sac State player. Now San Ramon in a bit of space for LMU. He'll play it out wide to Wood. Nice sliding tackle there to win it back for Sac State, but it will ultimately end up in a throw-in for the Lions.
There's Alfaro again, though, coming up big for Sac State on that left side.
Now Garcia stepping in here, floating it towards the back post. Nice way to knock it down by Avoce. It will ultimately come back to Francis Avoce as he's double-teamed down that right-hand side, working against two players, able to lay it off nicely as this cross comes into a dangerous area for the Lions, cleared away. Once again, nice shot from distance and in. And it's an amazing goal from the substitute, Danny Garcia, as he volleys this one in from a mile away to put the Lions ahead in the 38th minute. LMU 1-0 as Danny Garcia puts a charge into that one, into the bottom left-hand corner for the Lions.
Well, I know, Rayhan, that caught us off guard. Imagine how it caught Sacramento State.
And the goalkeeper, Ryan Curtis, not much he could do there, as it's a wonder goal there for Garcia. Garcia coming in as a substitute earlier in this one. He's only been on the field for what's marked as 4 minutes, just a bit more than that in actuality, but he saw a chance. Ball fell to him in a very open space, but really didn't seem like a scoring chance. Really well done, opportunistic play there from Garcia. Puts the Lions ahead 1-0 here in the 38th minute. Hornets will respond by making a substitution. New forward coming on here.
Could be the highlight of the year there for the Lions.
And for the Lions, Stephen, as we touched upon, coming into this game off back-to-back shutout wins. Jacob Jackson very much in form alongside the defense, now going the other way. LMU keeping the momentum. San Ramon in space, looking for some support, charging down the left-hand side. Looks like he has won a throw-in for LMU. Referee will agree. Lions looking to capitalize on the newfound bit of energy here. We'll settle down here, allow Wood to get on the end of this throw-in.
You know, like we both talked about, it's really big for the Lions to get this lead, hopefully going into halftime. At a huge advantage with Jacob Jackson sitting in goal.
Yeah, we've seen strong play from the back line of LMU as well as the goalkeeper Jackson. That early goal, especially going into halftime. If they can maintain this 1-0, would be basically all they can really ask for from Paul Crumpy and company here. Avoce stepping up here for the Lions. Danny Garcia, as we mentioned, came on. Has slotted right next to Kalaskan. Once again, San Ramon finds it in a dangerous area. Avoce for the Lions fires a shot low, and it'll bounce off the goalkeeper. Not handled well. Player brought down in the box for LMU. Referee allows it to go on as there is a Lion down in the box. Looked like it could have been a penalty called there. LMU charging forward. Another player dragged down. Physical game. No foul called still, but the Lions continue to push forward. This one hit towards the penalty area and ultimately cleared away. Christian Wood will stay on it for LMU. It appeared to be Duhaney Williams who was brought down by the keeper. Going for a loose ball there. Lion fans asking for a penalty. Referee saw it otherwise as the show. Once again, will hit that big diagonal ball towards San Ramon. Knocks it down nicely back to Wood. Wood will lay it back to Lopez. LMU very comfortable on this one. Garcia supporting the back four here. It's an option inside. Nice line breaking pass there. Caliscan.
A lot more press from the Hornets here. Of course, you're down now. You want to be more aggressive, but also later in the game, you can expend some of your stamina, especially coming up around in the half.
Yeah, a bit of urgency now from Sac State as another long ball picks out of Voce. Dangerous area. Looked like Francis Voce was about to have a golden scoring opportunity, but the flag was up. Lions have been caught offsides a couple times here. Now Ryan urging players forward. Ryan Curtis, starting goalkeeper here. This one will bounce off a couple of heads and fall in a dangerous area. Sac State on the ball. Govea will lay it off. Trying to get something going are the Hornets now, obviously wanting to even things up at least before the half. Nice job there by San Ramon to step up. It'll bounce around eventually. San Ramon will find Garcia. Garcia to Sanchez.
Some more physicality in this game. Gotta love to see it if you're a defensive-minded guy like me.
Yeah, Voce will lay it off. Now Garcia. Plenty of space for LMU. He'll play this one long. Voce holding it up well for the Lions. Has options going forward. Lays it off. Caliscan chance here for LMU. Fires a shot. Saved by the goalkeeper. Caliscan was on sides there. Fired a low shot. Ryan Curtis all over that one for Sac State. But the Lions once again knocking on the door here. Just under 3 minutes left in the first half. Trying to chip the keeper from a mile away. Not really sure what was going there.
Maybe he got excited after seeing the Lions' goal. Wanted a highlight play of his own.
Yeah, Carnifex trying to match what was a spectacular goal there from Danny Garcia. Trying to catch Jacob Jackson off his line. Jackson really not phased at all there from the attempt from distance. As he will send this one long. Looking to pick out a Voce. Voce just unable to get under this one, but the second ball is won by the Lions. Now Caliscan going forward, plays it out wide to Williams. Williams working 2-on-1, does a nice job splitting the defense. In the box is Williams here. But the third man was the one that won it back for Sac State. Now they will go the other way.
And he had Brandon Sanchez open, but just couldn't connect in time.
It's a good ball there, just a bit of an awkward distance there for Williams. The Lions will keep it. 2 minutes left in the first half here. LMU leads this one 1-0. Trying to capitalize here are the Lions. The second goal would be immense and really put Sac State behind the wall here. Caliscan will knock it down. This one will go long. Deshaw will take the throw in quick for LMU. Time is of the essence here. Once again in college soccer, no extra time here. So when they play to the 45, they play to exactly the 45. This one will bounce out of bounds and go to Sac State. We'll see if LMU gets another chance going forward, or if either team is able to create a chance for the remainder of this first half.
Lions obviously taking their time here.
Yeah, no urgency here from the Lions. No need to have any as Wood charging forward. Beating Williams, it'll end up with San Ramon, who plays it back to Wood, who lays it off for Sanchez. Nice little link-up play there for the Lions. Not that much time left. Laid off for San Ramon. Good chance to cross it in, and he does. Fired well over the bar as he is able to pick out target man of Voce. He was unable to get over this ball.
Voce was in position, just couldn't really lay down a accurate header.
That's a good sign for the Lions, getting service into Francis Voce. We talked about entering this game. Voce's shots per game, average of 3. Put him at 65th in the country. Entering this one is the show. We'll clear this one out of bounds. Under 30 seconds now as Sac State is trying to make a final push, but the Lions look like they have this half almost locked up, barring a last-second play by the Hornets. San Ramon, once again, good bit of defending. We'll send it to the Lions.
Most likely end the half right here.
That'll likely do it for us in the first half as Wood will throw one down to Sanchez, who sets on the ball there. And that'll do it here. Your halftime score is LMU 1, Sac State 0. The wonder goal from Danny Garcia put the Lions ahead 1-0 here. First half rundown in the stats. The Lions lead the shot category 9-5. Shots on goal 5-2. 4 saves out of Ryan, 2 saves out of Jackson, but Jackson inarguably the save of the game for the Lions. 5 fouls against LMU, 3 fouls against the Hornets, 3 corner kicks apiece. It says the Lions have been caught offsides twice. Feels like it's been more than that, rather, and Sac State offsides once. So, Stephen, good first half for the Lions. What do you think?
Lions definitely showing off some confident offense. They started the half strong and ended the half strong. Some great decisive passing, whether it's one touch, short distance passes, or just long passes where they air it out and give their own players a chance. You got to love the goalkeeping by Jacob Jackson, and overall, I just have to say, a good half by the Lions, and if they continue what they did in this first half, they will win this game.
Yeah, Lions look strong so far, but Sac State plenty of chances of their own. We'll see which team is able to come away with a 15-minute halftime break, so we will momentarily step away. You are watching LMU Lions men's soccer here on the WCC Network. Welcome back, folks. Once again, LMU Lions men's soccer here on the WCC Network alongside Stephen Nassif. I'm Rayhan Ball, bringing you a quick halftime update. Just about 11 minutes from kickoff. Plenty of WCC action here. The Lions hosting Sac State in addition to San Diego hosting UC Davis. And the last WCC game of the day is Pacific hosting UNLV. Your halftime score is LMU 1, Sac State 0 behind the goal. The long volley of Danny Garcia put the Lions ahead. Garcia out there for only 11 minutes, but really making his presence felt, whether it be supporting the back line as an outlet in that center defensive role or pushing the attack forward, ultimately having the confidence to fire a shot from that far away and put it in the back of the net. Stats rundown, we're LMU leading the shots category 9-5, shots on goal 5-2, 4 saves out of Curtis for the Hornets. 2 saves out of Jackson for the Lions. The Jackson clearly the save of the game on the volley by Kikavonovich for Sac State. 3 corners apiece, offsides 2-1. Lions have been called offsides more. Steven, the Lions looked good in that first half. At the start, first 10 minutes is all LMU, and then Sac State really settled into the game. But just around the 38th minute, it was the dagger for LMU as Danny Garcia sprung all the momentum back in the Lions' favor with that goal.
Yeah, I mean, you put it really well. Even after that dagger by Garcia, as you refer to it very aptly, I'd say that it looked like Sac State got a little bit rattled. The Lions had a few more opportunities immediately after, and really look and see if the Hornets are going to be able to settle down in this half. It's the halftime, I guess, was good timing for them because the momentum really swung after that goal, and they're lucky the Lions didn't add on another one.
Yeah, and that's a half that could have really gone either way. We talked about if Jackson doesn't make that diving save on the volley from the edge of the box, the Lions, on the other hand, find themselves behind the 8 ball. But a good save there by Jackson and a nice goal by Garcia, as you mentioned, swing the game back in the Lions' favor. Sac State really was getting better as the time went on in that first half, and really hitting the reset button there was Garcia for LMU. And now entering the second half, we'll see if the Lions are able to keep that momentum going. Entering the second half for LMU, Stephen, or Sac State rather, is there any player that you think we should keep an eye on?
Well, definitely keep an eye on Ryan Curtis for Sac State. He's their goalie, and you want to be sure that he doesn't get rattled and really let this 1-0 lead turn into anything more severe. Also, Gennaro Alfaro for Sac State has been holding down the defensive line, but I believe we are about to break to commercial pretty soon, Rehan. So anything else you'd like to add in the meantime?
Yeah, we'll be back in just a moment for another quick halftime update. But for now, rather, you're watching LMU Lions men's soccer here on the WCC Network. We'll be right back.
All right, Willow, your shot.
Welcome back to Sullivan Field alongside Stephen Nassif. I'm Rayhan Ball, bringing you another quick halftime update of this game between the Lions of LMU and the Hornets of Sacramento State. Lions lead this one 1-0 at the half. Plenty of soccer left to be played, but if the Lions were able to hold on and win this one 1-0, it would mark their third shutout victory in a row. The last loss the Lions had, and actually the only loss so far in the season, very young 2-1 record there for LMU, was against one of the best teams, best programs in the country rather, in Virginia Tech. Stephen, you and I worked that game, and it was really a heartbreaking loss for the Lions. They really took one of the best teams in the entire nation down to the wire, but it's good to see that after a tough loss, they've really responded well and have had two strong performances rather, coming away 2-0 over Oral Roberts and 1-0 over Loyola Chicago, both of those games here at Sullivan Field.
Yeah, I mean, that Virginia Tech game definitely felt like one of those where anybody can really win until the very last minutes or so when Virginia Tech was able to pull away that 2-1 lead. But definitely a good job by the Lions this season for just not letting that really get them down and build some momentum off some quality wins against some decent programs in Oral Roberts and Loyola Chicago. If they can get a win tonight against a very, very solid Sac State team, you know, the sky's the limit for this team.
Yeah, these are two sneaky good programs here in LMU and Sac State. Talked about LMU almost getting a win over the 16th ranked team in the country, and Sac State on the other hand actually coming away with a shutout win over the 25th ranked team in the country. Both teams led by very experienced head coaches, whether it be Michael Lindberger for the Hornets, who was a national champion as a player in 1986 at Duke. He was a captain of that team. And Paul Crumpy, who's been very successful in his 22 seasons so far here at LMU. Both these teams looking to keep things going in a positive direction. Just about 4 minutes from kickoff, and we'll step away once again for a short break. You're watching LMU Lions men's soccer here on the WCC Network. Welcome back to Sullivan Field. We're just about set to kick off this second half of action. Alongside Stephen Nassif, I'm Rayhan Ball, bringing you today's game between the Lions of LMU and the Hornets of Sac State. Lions lead this one once again 1-0 behind. The goal by Danny Garcia. Volley from 35 yards out. Spectacularly found the bottom left-hand corner, just past the outstretched arm of Ryan Curtis, who had a strong first half for Sac State. 4 saves for him in the 45 minutes. But on the other end for the Lions, defense and goalkeeping has looked strong per usual. Entered this game with a 180-minute shutout streak, and through 45, there is still a 0 up there for the Lions opponent. If they're able to continue that trend, they will come away with the win and advance to 3-1 on the season, but plenty of soccer left to be played, and Sac State is not a team that will go away lightly in the second half. Hornets huddled up in midfield here in their all-white jerseys, and the Lions in their new gray and red jerseys. Once again, we talked about Steven earlier making the switch over the last couple of years from being a Nike school to an Adidas school as LMU. Very similar lineup for the Lions as what we saw entering halftime. Still up top for the Lions is Francis Savoce alongside Williams and Sanchez.
You know, definitely in a game like this that's been really dominated by just the concept of momentum. One team always seemed to be in control for a certain period of time. I'm really interested to see which team comes out with the momentum. Definitely looked like it was all Lions at the end of that second half. See if Sac State can really settle down, get some control of the ball, and create some opportunities here. Counteract that.
So the Lions sticking with the two defensive midfielders in Caliscan and Garcia. Voce leading the front line. This one is played long. A lot of substitutions throughout this game for LMU, but the one constant has been the back line of Lopez, Deschaux, Cervantes, and Wood. This one is intercepted by Cervantes. He plays this one forward. Too much on it, rather a bit too far to the right for Williams. We throw in for Sac State. Carnifex will lay it off. Now rotated around by Andres. Wood will knock this one down. It'll fall for Garcia. A little space here for LMU. Good step up there, wins it back for Sacramento State. This one will go back and forth. Ultimately, Sac State will charge forward here. Dangerous area. It'll bounce around, stay with the Hornets. Deschaux with a big step up will poke it free, but this one will fall in the box for Sac State. Across the face of goal, now fired. Unable to go in there as that one was likely blocked by an LMU defender. Tough to see it from where we were at, but a golden opportunity for the Hornets is cleared away by the Lions. Sac State will continue to come forward here. Crossed in low and cleared away convincingly by Deschaux. Will end up with a throw-in for Sac State.
Wow, Sac State really coming out attacking. Caught Cervantes asleep at the wheel there. Had a great opportunity. Lions lucky to get out of that one.
Gouveia now floats this one towards the back post. Another good chance to cross here for the Hornets. Now stepping in here is Sac State, and this one fired, looking for that top right-hand corner, but just balloons it over the bar there, nowhere close.
Another highlight attempt.
Yeah, and it's a nice move there from Matt Carnifex, cutting inside, but just unable to get on top of that one. Lopez now back to Jackson. Lions spreading things out. As the show checks it into Garcia nicely back to Cervantes. Williams stepping up, trying to lay that one off for Caliscan, but Sac State will win it back.
Good defense there from Alcantara.
This one will fall, very dangerous there, shot and scored there for LMU as a bit of careless passing along the back four will result in the second goal of the game for the Lions. It looked like it was Brandon Sanchez there, and it was Brandon Sanchez in the 47th minute, putting the Lions ahead 2-0. There was a careless bit of passing there from number 4 for Sac State, Luis Urias, who grants Sanchez what has to be one of the easiest goals of his career.
Yeah, Sanchez very, very confident in that shot. Really did a good job of gathering himself and finishing.
Yeah, and you can't blame the goalkeeper there. Ryan Curtis caught off his line. Can't really expect him to do much there. Really just trying to be an option for the pass. Now all of a sudden, you talked about, Steven, if Sac State was going to be able to respond to the strong start by LMU, and they came out looking good for those first 2 minutes. But a careless pass once again swings things in favor of the Lions, now up 2-0.
Yeah, it's just got to be very deflating for the Hornets. Obviously, a lot of game left to be played, so you got to pick yourself up and keep going along, but it's a mistake like that's killer.
And for LMU, ever since they brought on the new attacking front line, fresh legs by way of, as we saw, Brandon Sanchez and Francis Avoce, the press has been much improved. Speaking of Avoce, he tries to get under this one. Looks like it'll be a foul. Referee sees it the same way.
Voce disagrees, but tough to argue with that one.
Quick restart for the Hornets now going the other way. This one is played out wide. Very active so far has been Alcantara on that left-hand side. Govea, nice little layoff there. Dangerous area. This one tried to play in behind. It'll come to Jackson ultimately, but Francesco Magana almost found himself with a tap-in opportunity there.
Yeah, promising possession there from Sac State.
Nice move there by Deschaux. Ultimately sends Chavez the other way and averts any danger for LMU. Garcia now picking out Williams with a great ball down the right-hand side. Just a bit too much on it, but a good idea there.
Yeah, you gotta like the attempt there.
LMU now heading the other way. Or Sac State rather, as they play this one in behind. Lopez tracking this one down, but the Hornets inside the box now. Nice cut inside there. Sac State pushing forward here. Shot fired, blocked by Deschaux. Will go out of bounds for a corner kick by Sac State, but LMU gets a second goal and doesn't seem to be phasing the Hornets so far as they come right back and win a corner kick.
Yeah, the Hornets, I mean, besides that goal, definitely been the most aggressive this half. I mean, only 5 minutes have passed. They spent a lot of time in Lion danger zone.
And now sitting on top of a corner here are the Hornets. This one driven towards the near post. Headed, great save once again by the Lions. Jacob Jackson coming up huge, full stretch on a great header by Sacramento State. Will keep things 2-0 here. And once again, Jacob Jackson, big moment, big save, keeps the 0 up there for Sacramento State.
Yeah, 2 great saves so far today by Jacob Jackson, just to show.
This one again dangerous here for Sac State and cleared away by Lopez. Now the Lions have numbers going the other way. Avoce trying to get on the end of that one.
It just goes to show how important a good goalie is. Without those 2 great saves, it would be a tied game, 2-2. But Lions with a much more daunting 2-0 advantage.
And those are 2 saves by Jackson that they ended up in the back of the net. Couldn't really blame them. Great shots by Sacramento State, but as we mentioned, Jacob Jackson tied first in the country in save percentage and goals against average, showing why right here, keeping up his spectacular play to start off this season. This game could very easily be 2-2 Sac State, and if you're a supporter of Sac State, Stephen, you can easily think they could be up even 2-1 after a careless goal is given to Sanchez and 2 amazing saves by Jackson. This game could really be a different scoreline.
Yeah, I mean, dare to say both of the Lions' goals, honestly, could seem a little fluky. Obviously a great first goal by the Lions, but, you know, if you're Sac State, you have to feel like you've been right in this game, and the 2-0 scoreboard doesn't really reflect how this game has gone.
Now Williams, big sliding tackle there, and a good one by Andres will win it back.
It looked like all ball.
Caliscan, a bit too much physicality there for the officials' liking. We'll send it back to Sac State. Free kick opportunity here for them to maybe set something up outside of the area.
Action-packed first 6 minutes of this half.
And the goal for LMU once again was off an errant pass from Urias. Caliscan stepping up here, well done. It's number 24 there, Derek Goodman, who's checked in for LMU, clearing that one away. Now Avoce in traffic, able to hold it up. Garcia lays it off for Goodman. So go back to Wood. Plenty of space to reverse it. Looks like that's what the Lions will choose to do. Now Deschaux. Deschaux will flip it right back where it came to Wood.
Lost his footing there. Lions got it right back.
Garcia now advances it well to Sanchez. Sanchez to Goodman, back to Sanchez. Now he'll flip it, looking for Williams. Good weight on the ball there. Williams charging into the box. Dangerous here for the Lions. Good cross for Williams.
Ooh.
Unable to get on it is Avoce, but the Lions still attacking. Shot fired low. Nice save there. As it looked like Francis Avoce had a great opportunity to score there. Danger averted. We'll see if a card comes out here for the official. And it will be a card against LMU.
Would have been a good opportunity for Sac State. Can't disagree with that yellow card.
Gets the yellow card, but Probably a good one to take there for Cervantes.
Yellow card to number 34,
You know,
Francisco Cervantes.
if you're a Voce there, that must be a tough missed opportunity. Have to be thankful it's 2-0.
Yeah, Sac State. Really dangerous opportunity they gave up there. It was a good move by Williams to get in behind, laid it off for Voce, as you mentioned. Unable to tap that one in. A yellow card on Cervantes comes in the 52nd minute. Gouveia now linking up. Dangerous here. Sac State finds themselves inside the box. Chance here for Sac State. Great sliding tackle. Will avert the danger. I believe it was Lopez for the Lions making a great play there, sliding in the box, taking away what looked like was going to be a very high percentage shot on target there for the Hornets.
That must be the third or fourth time the Hornets have found themselves in the Lions box.
A good composure there from center back pairing of Deschaux and Lopez. Plenty of experience between the two of them. Nice little play there by Garcia. Finds Goodman going forward. Goodman has players alongside him. Lays it off for Sanchez. Sanchez in a bit of trouble there. It'll ultimately go out of bounds. Back to Sac State. Sacramento, we talking about before the game, Stephen, a very developing soccer market. Sacramento Republic, minor league soccer team now really pushing a bid to get into Major League Soccer.
I know you're a big San Jose Earthquakes fan, Rayhan. How does that make you feel personally?
Yeah, it's interesting to see Northern California now potentially bringing in a second team in Sacramento Republic. See that in Southern California with LAFC and the LA Galaxy. Didn't think I'd be seeing something like that up in NorCal, but Sacramento Republic, to their credit, been a very well-managed, very well-run organization. That's a great ball in behind here. Now Williams finds himself charging on goal here, fires a shot, and in for the Lions. A great finish there on the counterattack by Duhaney Williams. Puts the Lions up 3-0 here in the 55th minute.
Excellent shot there. And I don't know if Ryan Curtis could have really done anything about that. Banked right off that left pole.
That was a great ball in behind to ultimately find Duhaney Williams. Williams running forward, had a Voce on his left-hand side. Ultimately decided to settle in on that one and picked out the corner very nicely. You mentioned off the post and in. And now LMU finds themselves up 3-0 against the Sac State team, Stephen, that we talked about. Fairly solid here, especially entering this game with a 3-1 record. One of those wins coming against a ranked team.
Yeah, got to be excited if you're a Lion fan at this 3-0 lead. I mean, so many goals scored. I think the Lions fans ran out of smoke. Oh, there's one right there coming off.
Yeah, it was a great
Stand
ball
corrected.
there. For LMU, it was Brandon Sanchez who played the long ball in behind to Williams. Now Sac State once again trying to get something going of their own. Gouveia working against Deschaux. Deschaux steady as ever for LMU.
And even though the Lions have 2 goals this half, it's been Sac State that's been threatening more than LMU.
Yeah, and LMU just been very opportunistic with their chances right there on the counterattack. We've seen Duhaney Williams do a great job getting in behind along that right-hand side, and credit to Brandon Sanchez picking him out on that long ball. Personally, I thought he was going to lay it across for a Voce, but ultimately the right decision was made as Williams composed himself and slotted that one into the left-hand corner.
Yeah, you can't argue with anything that ended up with a point on the board for the Lions.
Now Tyus Washington enters the game. That'll be number 18, Francisco Magana, exiting the game for the Hornets as Sac State, as you mentioned, played a lot better than the scoreline has indicated. Plenty of shots so far in this one. LMU 12 shots to Sac State's 9, but 8 of those on target for LMU. Long ball down the left-hand side, looking for Goodman. Derek Goodman played just about 11 minutes in this one. The Lions still charging forward. Falls for Caliscan in a dangerous area, but he turns that one right into the hands of Curtis. Just about 56 minutes in here. Both teams have looked pretty good, but LMU clearly the better side. Gouveia trying to play this one in behind for Washington. He will keep possession for Sac State. Whip it out wide. Woods settling in here defensively for LMU. Gouveia once again on the ball, trying to get something going for Sac State. Now out wide. Alcantara whips another ball in towards the back post. It'll ultimately go out of bounds for a corner kick.
Looks like it was off Christian Wood.
Yeah, another opportunity here for Sac State. You have to assume some frustration building up here, as you talked about being a lot closer than the scoreline indicates, but for Sac State, none of that really matters. Just trying to get some goals, get back into this one. This ball is played short towards the edge of the box, right back to the corner taker. Nice little turn there. We'll send a ball in towards the back post, just barely ahead of the player for Sac State.
Interesting. None of the Lion goals have started off with a possession inside the box. Most of them were just either an excellent pass or a great shot or just a mistake from Sac State.
We've seen the Lion team respond well. Sac State more comfortable on the ball after those first 10 minutes, but LMU's been able to adjust nicely into a more counterattacking style of play, utilizing the speed of a player like Williams to get in behind. Now a long shot fired on by Sac State.
And you're right, Rayhan. You can tell there's that frustration for the Hornets and that little, there's obviously a sense of urgency down 3-0.
And if you're Sac State, classic sign of frustration there, firing a shot from 40, 45 yards out. Really no chance of beating a goalkeeper like Jackson from that distance, but you've been holding onto the ball for plenty of time and you find yourself down 3-0. Those are the type of things that start to happen. As Goodman, just heavy touch there, will send it out of bounds. Good crowd on hand here for LMU, and the Lions giving them plenty to cheer about. Up 3-0 entering the 58th minute here.
You're talking about the new Sacramento MLS team potentially.
As the Lions real quick coming ahead the other way, it'll be Williams once again for LMU. Dangerous in the box, trying to play it across for Avoce. And that ball for Williams a bit too heavy from Avoce. Looked like a great chance, but the pairing right there of Duhaney Williams and Francis Avoce have been giving Sac State fits so far, Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. And they didn't, I don't believe Williams or Avoce started the game for the Lions, but both coming in, or rotating in off the bench, really making an impact, giving Sacramento State a real run for their money.
Garcia now floats this one towards the show. Just unable to get over that as a Nick to show. Sac State trying to get things going. They'll play a long switch here towards Chavez, easily picked out by Cervantes, but the second ball stays with the Hornets. Now this one way too much on it. Will go out of bounds. Quick throw in for LMU.
And you were talking about Sacramento getting their new team, and obviously I'm not as big of an MLS fan as you are, but what I relate to is the Chargers coming to LA. I'm a Rams fan, and as far as I'm concerned, sorry to all the Chargers fans out there, I just don't see any need for a team other than the Rams here in LA. Maybe the Raiders, but the Chargers, I don't want that sort of competition,
And Stephen, you and I both, growing up, supporters of the Oakland Raiders, felt like it's hard to see them go, but if they were to go anywhere, Los Angeles would have been a nice destination, but ultimately LA gets the Chargers. But it very much seems like, as you mentioned, LA has already made up their mind with the Rams.
Yeah, especially coming a year later. It's just, why leave 1 million fans in San Diego for, the 27,000 StubHub, StubHub Center.
And we'll see how that sorts out in the MLS. Interesting thing about the MLS, however, with Sacramento coming into the league, is a lot of the new teams tend to do fairly well when it comes to ticket sales and revenue. We've seen a lot of new franchises enter, LAFC obviously being the poster child of that, entering a market in Los Angeles which seemed to be dominated by the LA Galaxy, but smart ownership group and a couple great signings, really headlined by Carlos Vela, who's your virtual lock for MLS MVP this season, has brought LAFC into a position to where the new team is really the big boys now of Los Angeles. The LA Galaxy currently, I believe, standing outside of the playoff race despite having Zlatan Ibrahimovic, one of the better players in MLS, but at the end of the day, Carlos Vela has really been tearing the league to shreds. We'll see if a fairly similar storyline happens in Northern California with Sacramento looking like they might join the MLS one day.
It's fascinating, too, because the Galaxy have been one of the biggest teams in the history of the MLS, of the young history, but nevertheless, their biggest star, David Beckham, was a member of the LA Galaxy, and to kind of fall into second place in Los Angeles is something you don't really see. in other leagues happen that often.
Yeah, and we'll see how things play out. Bit of a difference there being Sacramento Republic, already an established team that have been playing in, I believe, the NASL. So it won't be an LAFC type entry. LAFC obviously backed by plenty of celebrities, Will Ferrell being one of the more notable ones, able to come in and buy a player of the capabilities of Carlos Vela. I don't think Sacramento Republic will be making any similar signings anytime soon. But kind of going along that line, same goes for the San Jose Earthquakes, the LA Galaxy, big money team in Los Angeles, and essentially it took another big money franchise like LAFC to upend them. In NorCal, the battle between Sacramento and San Jose will be an interesting one as this one's crossed into a dangerous area. Deflected just wide. It'll stay here for Sacramento State, now working down the left-hand side. Nice little move there, beats Cervantes. Player brought down in the box, no foul called.
Looked like equal physicality from both sides in that possession.
Both players arguing for a foul. Player down in the box.
Haven't seen a player argue for a foul and really ever convince the official. But, you know, new things happen every day.
It's a tricky one. Soccer, one of the later sports to come around to instant replay, the new VAR. Just implemented into the Premier League this season, I believe. So we'll see if college soccer ends up following within the next couple of years.
How do you feel about instant replay personally, Rayhan?
I mean, obviously, I think it's easy to say, especially in a free-flowing game like soccer, that it just slows down the pace of play. But no matter what, you really want to get things right, and it's kind of the price you have to pay. It's really tough to see a game be decided by a tangibly wrong call by a referee. We've seen similar things happen in other leagues, Stephen, as now the Lions are coming down the left-hand side. We'll get back to that point in just a sec as Goodman crosses this one and is brought down. Sac State ultimately avoids the danger, but Lions will keep it. And fairly topical relating to the city of Los Angeles, the Rams this weekend taking on the Saints. And last year's Rams-Saints matchup was really the poster child of instant replay in the NFL.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very questionable call that ultimately went our way, I'll say.
But it was tough, you know, feeling like you didn't really deserve it in a certain sense, you know. I mean, you'd rather just have everyone get it right, and then you come out on top because of that. I mean, I'm for instant replay for that reason. Obviously, there are delays in the game, but I feel like the technology will be better, and people will be so good at getting the right decisions in quickly over time. I feel like it's almost going to be negligible.
Now the Lions will work this one down the right-hand side. Williams been very involved so far for LMU. He's brought down, foul called. We'll give the Lions another dangerous set-piece opportunity. We'll see if they slow things down, bring some players forward. Looks like Deschaux will stay back. Nick Deschaux, as we talked about, one of the best aerial threats for LMU, but with the Voce now up there and a 3-0 lead, no need to push him forward. And Steven, that implementation of instant replay, it's always been there in the NFL, but the real change now being the ability to challenge pass interference, which has really shaked things up in the NFL as Sac State finds themselves going the other way now, trying to get things going. LMU, as we talked about earlier, not sending Deschaux forward, gave them plenty of numbers back. No real danger there. It's now Deschaux on the ball for LMU. Deflection there will put a little bit of danger, but Jacob Jackson not phased there, easily picking that one up. He'll take his time here. Now Sanchez for the Lions.
You know, you're talking about instant replay, and it is a big change for the NFL, but I just believe that you shouldn't be against any sort of change just because it is change. It makes sense, and you really just hate to have something happen to this, you know, like what happened to the Saints last season where they lost off of a really, you know, just a missed call by the referee.
Now Cervantes fighting forward for LMU, things getting a bit chippy, foul called ultimately back to Sac State, but as you touched upon, Stephen, challenging pass interference, something completely new in the NFL, and really the success rates have been extremely low on ultimately challenged pass interference calls. There was a big one in the Thursday nighter just yesterday. Ron Rivera and the Panthers challenged the pass interference call as they were driving to win the game. Ultimately, it was not overturned. Sac State settling in on the ball now. Govea. It's been there, I believe, every single minute of the game. Big key for them building things up. Just unable to finish a chance has been the Hornets. Avoce dropping back now.
We saw a little physicality earlier, like we predicted. That 3-0 deficit, obviously very frustrating. We've got to be careful and watch out. Make sure you don't make any mistakes or don't foul too hard or get a red card and hurt your team.
Now Sanchez on the ball here for LMU, playing a long ball. Looks like there's way too much on it, but a good idea there, as Dehaney Williams found himself with a chance to get in behind, this time on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Williams looked like he was offside and had to wind back a little bit, and the pass expected him to not, so not much you can do there.
You got 3 substitutions coming in for the Lions. Alex Liu entering the game for the Lions alongside Will DeBay. And it was also Cervantes stepping out at that right back spot for LMU. Get you the official sub. Cervantes was brought off for number 26, Cesar Olivia. So 3 new subs for the Lions. Looks like Liu will slot in on that right wing. We talked about him being a handful one-on-one. Will DeBay now on the ball here. Center attacking role for him. Slotting in where we saw Sanchez earlier. So some fresh legs on now for the Lions, especially in an attacking position by way of DeBay and Liu. Liu, plenty of space on the right-hand side, calling for the switch unmarked.
Yeah, trying to make himself known to his teammates.
Olivia now picking out Avoce. Good job holding it up for Avoce. Charging forward now is Francis Avoce. Fires a shot off a defender. Looks like it'll win another corner kick for LMU. Francis Avoce, we talked about coming into this game 65th in the country at 3 shots a game on average, so not afraid to fire it is Avoce. Another corner kick here for the Lions. It'll be Danny Garcia, I believe, standing over this one. Really settled in as the set piece specialist. And who can blame Paul Crumpy after seeing him fire that long shot, wanting him on the dead ball situations. Quick ball into Liu, right back to Garcia. He'll float this one towards a dangerous area. Header just wide. And it was a golden opportunity there for LMU to get a 4th goal.
Yeah, you talked about Avoce with 3 shots per game. When you have a strong player like that, they usually tend to control the ball more and as a result, create more shots for themselves. So not very surprising to see.
Now dangerous takeaway here from Liu. Great opportunity, lays it off for Avoce. Avoce, great chance here for the Lions. Fires a shot, blocked ultimately. But the pressure from LMU continues to build as the Lions are knocking on the door here, up 3-0, but not satisfied with those 3 goals. Francis Avoce and Alex Liu charging forward there.
Frustration obviously building for the Hornets and kind of manifesting itself into some sloppier play.
And it was a great recovery there by the Sac State defender. Looked like Avoce had himself a golden opportunity, but a diving block there. We'll keep this thing 3-0. Right now for LMU, we talked about them entering this game with back-to-back shutouts. Obviously have some cushion here, but would love to keep things at 0 for Sac State, especially in these non-conference games. Really formative times for your team.
And if you're Sac State, you obviously just really want that goal to validate the feeling of how this
long shot again.
Yeah, there's another one.
Well over the bar. I believe it was Morehouse again for Sac State, trying to get something going.
I mean, the Lions obviously have played better this game as Sac State's gotten a little sloppy in the second half, but it's not that much better. It's not usually what a 3-0 score indicates, and Sac State has to remind themselves of that and maintain some confidence to fight for any chance they can get.
And the Lions deserving to be ahead here, most definitely up 3-0, but 3-goal differential is a bit much here. We've seen LMU create plenty of chances, so really could go either way, but ultimately the Lions have been the better side. They have finished off their chances. This one will bounce around Sac State. We'll try and control this one, but Garcia really roaming around for LMU defensively. It'll be a clearance from Lopez. Avoce trying to settle in on this one. Handled well there by Francis Avoce. So he gets pushed off the ball. Looks like it should have been a foul. Nothing called by the official. Now finds Liu in plenty of space here. Down the right-hand side, Alex Liu for the Lions will lay this one off for DeBay. This one given away. The Lions now tracking back defensively. This ball played in behind, looked like he was offsides.
Yeah.
Official does agree with what we saw from up here in the broadcast booth.
Cesar Oliva did a good job of baiting that offsides. Good awareness there.
Yeah, good job by Oliva coming in late into this one. Not too many minutes played so far, but picking up right where Cervantes left off, being able to have the discipline to hold the line. The back three of Wood, Lopez, and Deschaux, I believe, that have been very steady for LMU. Not easy to come in there and be on the same page. Nice switch there from Lopez. Chested down well by Oliva. That'll ultimately go back to Jackson. The Lions lead this one 3-0, so.
You're seeing Sac State really press a lot more in this 3-0
Sac
deficit.
State shot fired, blocked by Deschaux. DeBay now for the Lions. He'll lay it off for Lou. Charging forward is LMU. Lays it off for Will DeBay. He'll switch it around to Wood. Now charging forward are the Lions once again, given away there. It was Caliscan, who's shifted a bit more forward than he was in the first half. Garcia, a bit more defensive than we originally saw him. This one will now come in. Good pass there. Plenty of space for Sac State going the other way. It'll be shot fired and saved there, but not convincingly. The ball still loose in the box. It'll fall for Garcia. Jacob Jackson not cleanly saving that one, but doing the most important thing, which is keep it out of the back of the net. Alcantara will reset things quickly for Sac State as they just want to get the ball back in play. Once again, Morehouse on the ball. This one played inside. Nice step up from Caliscan, will force it back. Morehouse just trying to figure out something going forward for the Hornets. Lions, more physical team here. They've been called for 10 fouls so far in the 70th minute to just 4 for Sac State.
Definitely a more physical game.
It's a great ball there now in behind Avoce. Plenty of space to run. Cutting back inside. It's Francis Avoce. Will hold the ball up here for the Lions. Brought down here. No foul called. Looked like he was tripped up. Official didn't see it that way.
I understand Avoce's frustration, but when you're up 3-0, it's best not to complain too much and just try to get back, right back in it.
This one now played in behind. Lopez trying to track this one down for the Lions. Dangerous area for LMU. Great save once again from Jacob Jackson. Staying in form. Big save right on his doorstep. Got to be tough for Sac State, who've put a lot of good shots on goal here, but Jackson has matched every single one of them.
Yeah, Jacob Jackson really fighting hard to maintain his third straight shutout if they can succeed in keeping Sac State scoreless. Definitely the most valuable player today, in my opinion, so far for the Lions.
Yeah, plenty of subs now for the Lions, most notable of them being Nick Deschaux getting a rest here. Usually him and Lopez going the distance together, but Deschaux will get a break with the Lions holding that 3-goal cushion. Sac State now whips it into the box. Headed away by LMU. DeBay trying to get on the end of that one. Avoce unable to pick off that loose ball.
Yeah, might as well take out Deschaux. No need of risking injury to one of your best players when you're up 3-0 with only about 15 minutes left in the game.
Stepping in there for the Lions in the place of Deschaux is Corbin Mercado. Also entering the game for the Lions was Nick Gianconi. Now looking for Avoce once again, unable to win that header. But it will fall for Avoce again. This one bouncing around will ultimately fall for Morehouse. Or rather, it was Carnifex for Sac State. Nice ball in behind there. Might have a chance here. Great sliding tackle. Olivia will send that one for a corner kick for the Hornets. Sac State 5 corners so far in this game, equal to LMU's 5. This one played into the box. Dangerous area and shot just wide. Almost a chance there for Sac State, as it'll be another substitution for LMU. We'll see who ultimately comes off for the Lions.
Now in for the Lions, number 18, Wills Martin. For number 9, Francis Avoce.
It'll be Francis Avoce getting a rest here for LMU entering the game. The Wills Martin for the Lions, the new striker here for LMU. Martin now coming out with some fresh legs. Completely new look attack for LMU. Goalkeeper Jackson taking his time here. 5 saves for Jackson, and 3 of them have been just about as good as it gets. Going up for the header there was DeBay, a foul called. And unhappy with the official is number 2, Antonio Andres, and that'll get him in the book. Yellow card issued.
The book. Gotta love it. Now, obviously, you know, down 3-0, we've talked about it so much. You're going to expect to see some frustration come from the Hornets. And it's just about maintaining discipline and knowing that Sac State really is a good team. And like we've said, the score doesn't really reflect how they've played today. And while that could be frustrating, you got to maintain your wits about you.
And it'll be Jaime Robles entering the game for the recently yellow carded Antonio Andres. Garcia once again on top of this one for LMU. Plenty of players at the back post. Likely whipping this one into the penalty area. Signaling, we'll see what Paul Crumpy has drawn up here for the Lions. This one floated towards the back post. Keeper coming out, headed back into a dangerous area. Just not enough on the second ball there, but nice idea there by LMU. Plenty of space here in behind of Sac State if they can get the ball there. Unable to do so as Garcia picks it out. Lions trying to link up the other way, and they do so. LMU now working down that right-hand side. It's Nick Gialcone, who ultimately will send this one out of bounds. The 2 officials disagreeing on the call. Eventually the head official gets his way, and that will be a goal kick for Sac State.
Most of the Lions in right now are not starters, so.
Yeah, a lot of bench players getting some time for LMU, but all of them, to their credit, have played well. No real weak spots in this Lions lineup so far, and we've seen plenty of players, as you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always a good thing to see players from your bench late in the game. I know Magic Johnson would always say to his teammates that I don't want to play the 4th quarter, signifying that they want to be winning so badly that they take him out and put in the bench players.
This one is sent long towards Williams, trying to hold things up. Ultimately, the Lions will send this one down the sideline and out of bounds. It's a clearance.
12 minutes remaining, and mostly expect to see the Lions try and run out this clock.
It'll be 3 substitutions here for the Hornets, just trying to find out what combination of players will ultimately get them on the scoreboard.
You know, keep in mind it's so early in the season, too, that a lot of these teams are still figuring out what combinations work in their starting lineups the best.
Now trying to get something going forward are the Hornets. It looks like they might have had something going in behind as this ball will fall into space. Trying to get under it is Alcantara for LMU, or rather for Sac State. For LMU is Gianconi ultimately getting there. Alcantara now taking a shot and going down. Grabbing his leg there. Official signaling for a trainer. Cesar Oliva for the Lions, standing over it. Alcantara seems to be in a considerable amount of pain. You always think in soccer, always giving a bit extra to the injury, but definitely not the situation here, as Sac State will love all the time they can get on the ball. Alcantara injured here. The clock is stopped, however, per NCAA rules at 78 minutes and 52 seconds. Good to see Alcantara able to get up under his own strength. Looks like he will stay in the game as a substitute does come on for the Hornets.
You know, like you said, while there are a lot of exaggerations in the sport of soccer, you still are always kind of hoping it is an exaggeration.
Alcantara looked to be okay, ultimately coming up limping. Wanted to stay in the game, but coach will make the substitution and bring him off. Nice job there by Dubé to win the ball for the Lions. This one hit towards the opposite side. LMU in possession, going the other way. Fires a shot from well outside. Forces a good save there out of Ryan Curtis. The Lions will get another corner kick here. 6th corner of the game, I believe, for LMU as a substitute will come in. Gaten Rowe will enter the game for LMU. Will Dubé now exiting. Gaten Rowe started things off for the Lions. Very extended break for him there, but now he will get the last 10 minutes of action, most likely for LMU. Corner kick for the Lions. Believe it's Garcia once again standing over this. Plenty of bodies forward. Lou once again running in short. This one will be floated over his head towards the back post, headed just wide once again. This one rolling for a throw-in for the Lions. Sac State player just unable to get there and clear that one. Gaten Rowe, lay this one off for Oliva. Lions in no hurry here.
You know, something to note is there's been a tremendous amount of shots this game for both teams. Lions 16, Hornets 15. Of course, the Lions with 9 on goal and the Hornets with only 5 on goal. That's been really the difference.
And for the Hornets, we talked about only 5 on goal, but they've been fairly high quality shots. This one will bounce around in the midfield ultimately. Govea playing a
Great
player
pass.
in behind here. Sac State now in behind, shot blocked. Well done there by Corbin Mercado. We talked about him coming in for Nick the Show. Up to the challenge there. Has a great opportunity for Arath Chavez. Is ultimately fired off the outstretched leg of Mercado, and it will result in the 7th corner kick for Sac State.
Yeah, you gotta love Mercado coming in off the bench and delivering big there for his Lions team.
And that ball is ultimately headed away for another corner kick. That'll be number 8 for Sac State.
Pretty amazing that the Lions have preserved this shutout for how much Sac State has been attacking.
That's taken some great defensive plays and some big saves out of the goalkeeper Jackson, but the Lions are up 3-0 here, and currently as it stands, the shutout streak lives on, but plenty of chances for Sac State as they whip in a dangerous ball here, cleared nicely by Lopez. All danger not averted. Actually, there's Olive on the clearance there for LMU. This one now looking for Williams. Williams trying to make a turn on Wood, but Wood there every step of the way. Ultimately, it will be a goal kick for LMU, and they will take their time on this one. So the Lions will have another substitute entering the game.
Number 11, C.J. Neville. For
C.J. Neville entering the game for LMU in exchange for Christian Wood. We'll see if Neville gets some defensive action here. Wood spent most of his game so far with some left back duties, and it looks like Neville will come in a very similar spot there.
And Neville played 35 minutes so far today in the mid position. So just like we talked about, seeing what works on your starting lineup while you have the opportunity to kind of experiment.
This one will be headed back to the goalkeeper, Ryan Curtis. Curtis been very active today. He has let 3 by him, but he's also made 6 saves. We'll clear this one. Trying to get under it for the Lions is Garcia, and ultimately Leo Zuli wins it back. Lopez back to Mercado, now out wide to Oliva. Looking long, but he'll just lay it back to Mercado. Very comfortable on the ball there. Looking long. This one will bounce around here. It's the substitute center back here, Jaime Robles, will eventually advance the ball for Sac State. Danny Garcia, good press there, not allowing them to get anything going quickly. We just passed the 83rd minute here at Sullivan Field. Once again, Lions lead this one 3-0. Both teams with 16 shots. So it's been a very up and down game.
Yeah, definitely an action-packed game too. A lot of aggression from both teams, physical, and a lot of shot opportunities. Fun one to watch here from the broadcasting booth, I'll tell you.
Now looking long are the Lions. Ultimately getting back on that one for LMU. is the substitute, Wills Martin. Good job there winning the ball back for the Lions as they now come forward. This one floated towards Martin in a dangerous area, just barely not enough on it. Martin was inside of his man there. Williams trying to get something going for Sac State, but just severely outnumbered by LMU. It'll ultimately go back to Jacob Jackson, who has 5 saves on the night. Mercado now. No rush. As Oliver will send it back to Jackson. Obviously, Sac State pressing here. 5 minutes and some change left in this one. Really trying to get that goal. Definitely don't want to get shut out at the beginning of their SoCal road trip. As a row, just trying to flick that one on, too much on it. We talked about Sac State after tonight. We'll go a couple hours down south to take on the University of San Diego before heading up against the University of San Francisco and then back down to the University of Pacific. Very WCC inspired schedule for Sac State despite not being a member of the WCC. That's a foul against
WCC inspired.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting they're playing your West Coast teams. We were looking at the schedule for the Lions, Stephen, and surprising lack of traveling. They have a one-off game in which they'll be in Kalamazoo, Michigan on the 6th of October against Western Michigan, but outside of that, very much West Coast for LMU, sticking around Sullivan Field.
Yeah, definitely more home games than away games for the Lions, and, you know, not sure how that happened, but I can't complain because you'll be hearing more from us as a result.
And the Lions have been on a very big home stretch to start off the season. Nice little move there by Mercado. He's looked very good on the ball coming in for Deschaux. Now going the other way is Zuli, trying to get something going for LMU. Maybe putting away a 4th goal here. This one floated towards a dangerous area, easily picked out though, too close to the goal, and a dangerous roll there was almost taken away by Rowe. The Lions we talked about started off the season. Plenty of home games. Now they have what's listed as a long road spell, but it won't be too far from home. Sac State now trying to get something going down that right-hand side. Crossed again, dangerous area, cleared away well by Lopez. Listen to the road stretch for the Lions. After this, they will take on Davis once again at home, and then they will go on the road to Riverside, Northridge, San Luis Obispo, and Fullerton. So a 4-game road stretch for LMU, but not much traveling going on there.
Yeah, definitely within driving distance. No need for a hotel.
This one now hit towards the near post for Sac State. It will fall towards the edge of the box. Rowe tracking it down, but the Hornets will keep it.
A little over 3 minutes remain in this one.
Ultimately finds the middle of the field. Numbers out wide for Sac State. This one hit towards the back post and headed into a dangerous area here. Jackson, great job stepping up. He'll sit on this one, kill some time for the Lions. That's a tough spot there. We talked about Jackson making saves here, but there's a big decision he has to make staying back on his line, and he made the right one coming out and intercepting it before it was really a shooting opportunity.
And you put yourself in physical danger doing that, and that's something that's tough to do when you have a pretty secure lead.
This one will fall for Sac State and a chance to go forward, but a heavy touch will be nicely handled there by Garcia, whose goal really set the tone for LMU. Now the Lions, plenty of space, no need to push anything forward here. Mercado once again on the ball.
Lopez, who just passed the ball, is the only one to play every minute of this game, besides, of course, Jacob Jackson.
And Lopez, always reliable back there for LMU. Usually paired with the show, but Mercado has come on and looked good for the Lions. Govea now will swap things over to the right-hand side. Now we'll try and flick this one over the head of Neville, but Neville tracking back, he's there. Caliscan, I believe, rather it's Leo Zuli for LMU. Winning the ball back. Mercado taking his time on the ball here. Good ball there, split the defenders. Oliva in space now. Has players running alongside him. He'll lay it off. Nice move there. Lions holding onto the ball. It's Nick Bianconi who gives it away, but he also had a nice move to create the chance. Ultimately a foul against him. will send it back to Sac State as they have just over a minute left in this one to try and get on the scoreboard. The Lions, if they're able to hold them out, will continue their shutout streak and extend it to 3 full games. But Sac State now pushing forward here.
1 minute left.
This one in a dangerous area in the box for Sac State. LMU able to clear it away. It's Lopez who was hit hard on the clearance, and he goes down now grabbing that right shin. I believe it'll result in a yellow card for Sac State. You hate to see that late in the game.
Now entering
Substitute coming for LMU now as Lopez is getting checked on. The Alex back will be checking in for Gerardo Lopez. He talked about Steven Lopez, the only one to go the distance so far, now getting a bit of a break. And by necessity here is the trainer coming out for LMU. Lopez just trying to clear things away and preserve the shutout. Ultimately on the follow through, caught an attacking player. We'll see if he's okay.
Yeah, that's the risk you obviously face when you keep your starters in. Unfortunately, Lopez putting in 89 excellent minutes. Doesn't look like he will finish the last one, but walking off under his own volition. So it doesn't seem like anything too serious.
And that's something to keep an eye on for the Lions. Lopez is very much a staple in that back four. Hopefully he's healthy going forward in the season, as now play will resume. Jacob Jackson will send this one long for LMU. Sac State wins the header. Trying to get something going the other way, but Williams will put a heavy touch on the end of that one. Alec Backaby now will slot in next to Corbin Mercado. Just 30 seconds left in this one. Lions ahead 3-0.
Just taking their time with it here. Only 20 seconds remaining now.
A long throw in down the line. Really no need to try and create any chances for LMU. Just trying to kill some time. We have 10 seconds left in this one. Sac State trying to make a final push. They'll play this one long, and it'll be deflected out wide by Nick Gianconi. And that'll do it here from Sullivan Field. Your final score is LMU 3, Sac State nothing. The Lions will advance to 3-1 on the season, and that'll drop Sac State to 3-2. The Lions' third straight shutout victory here. 2-0 over Oral Roberts, 1-0 over Loyola Chicago, and now 3-0 over Sac State. The Lions continue to stay strong. The next time you'll see them will be against UC Davis here at Sullivan Field, and as we mentioned, Sac State making their WCC rounds, going down to San Diego next. Steven, the Lions look good tonight, advanced to 3-1 on the season, 3 straight shutouts. What'd you like out of the Lions tonight?
Well, obviously the Lions were able to put up 3 goals, and they were able to do so because they finished well. But I would like to, put a little more emphasis on the defense for the Lions. Jacob Jackson preserving his 3rd straight shutout and really earning it too. He absolutely had some clutch saves and kept this game out of hand for Sacramento State.
Yeah, plenty of highlights in this one. Jacob Jackson, as you mentioned, 3 huge saves in the first half. The volley from the top of the box, he was able to dive and get to that one. Then on the header that bounced up on him, awkwardly able to full stretch, punch that one away. And lastly, just right on his doorstep, able to make a nice diving save to keep things at 0 for Sac State. For the Lions, 3 goals scored, as you mentioned. The first one by Danny Garcia was a wonder goal, volleying that one in the bottom corner from about 30, 35 yards out. That was followed up by the careless mistake by Luis Urias for Sac State, which gave really one of the easiest goals of the career, I have to imagine, for Brandon Sanchez. He was able to roll that one into the bottom corner. And lastly, I believe it was Duhaney Williams, who was also a goal scorer for LMU. A great ball in behind from Sanchez. Found him 2-on-1 with the keeper. Opted to keep it himself instead of laying it off for Avoce, and it was the right decision as he slotted it off the cross.